Galway captain David Burke, following in the footsteps of Conor Hayes, Galway's All-Ireland winning captain of 1988.
Galway are your Ireland hurling champions. Hello and welcome to Talking Points, our GAA show here on Balls.ie, brought to you in partnership with Sky Sports. My name, of course, is Mark Farley. I'm joined, as always, by Balls.ie's editor, Mick McCarthy. And this week, we're delighted to welcome to the couch Cork legend, Diarmaid O'Sullivan. Diarmaid, a sad day for Cork, but you wouldn't begrudge Galway in the seniors, at least, anyway. Absolutely not.
I suppose we've been crying out for change at the top table for the last 10 years, maybe. Okay, Waterford will be devastated. You know, there was going to be a new champion out there this morning. Whichever way it turned, it just turned in Galway's favour. And from early in the year, they set their stall out, and you know the challenge was mighty for them. But they never shocked the challenge all year, right through from the National League, from when Wexford beat them above in Salt Hill. You know, they turned the corner and they progressed nicely as it went on. And yesterday was a culmination of their hard work, and credit to them for it.
Absolutely, and one of the stories of the day was Joe Canning finally getting his All-Ireland medal, one of the greats of the game for the last 10 years or so. He was born a month after Galway last won the All-Ireland, so a long way for Joe, and he spoke to Sky Sports after the game.
Joe, I heard about you as a hurler when you were 14 years of age. We've all watched your career with interest. Today you've got an All-Ireland final. The journey was long, Joe.
Yeah, it was, I suppose, for I didn't see the last time we won the All-Ireland. I was only born in October and we won it in September, so it's nice to actually give the next generation of young Galway hurlers something to live up to now as well, you know.
Joe, I know it's all about the team and you characterise that, but just from a personal note, you put up with a lot of stuff over the years. People wrote you off, people doubted you. How mentally strong do you have to be to withstand all that, just as a bloke, never mind a hurler?
I don't know, it probably affected me too much for a long time. And as I said previously, it probably took Mum and Dad for me to appreciate that hurling was only a game at the end of the day and it's only a hobby, you know. So yeah, a couple of years ago I probably didn't take it as serious in a way myself, and the pressure, and you know, we got serious young lads there with Wheelo and Conor Cooney and Joey as well, and you know, they really stood up this year in the last year or two, so took a lot of pressure off me, you know.
Yeah, brilliantly honest interview there from Canning. Gerard, you had the pleasure, maybe the misfortune of having to play against him when in his debut season in 2008. He scored 212 against Cork. Did you know you were witnessing something special?
We'd seen him prior to it, obviously, you know, from minor, and we'd heard about him coming through in Fitzgibbon ranks. You know, he played that day corner forward against us, and he was awesome. You knew this lad had something special. He started forge his name, as I said, in the Fitzgibbon really is where a lot of hurlers are coming through, and to be fair, like he's put up with a lot. He's carried a team for 10 years. There's a lot of responsibility for a young lad, and at times, you know, you'd question, did the rest of his teammates leave him down? But you know, he'd big shoulders, he was able to carry it, and you know, for guys like Joe, okay, there'll be other lads that say, you know, there's other players out there deserving All-Ireland medal, bits and pieces, but you know what, credit to him, he kept going. With all the negativity, all the jibes that were put his way, he'll be one of these other players who never finish with an All-Ireland medal, and credit to him, he deserves it just to himself and his family. You know, Ollie was a Galway great for years, and it's just wonderful to see the interaction between himself and his parents and the whole lot of them there. Fair play to him.
Yeah, and his nephew Jack won, obviously a brilliant performance in the minors.
Performance in the minors. Score was a 2-2, 2-3 in the
2-2 in the end, yeah, all in the second half, unfortunately for your lads. But
unfortunately.
Just on Joe though, like, I mean, I was at so many Galway games over the years when they were middling or you think they were getting good, and all the fans, they had such expectation on him and such love for him, but it was a lot of pressure. So it was everything, no matter what Galway did, it was hit it into Joe, hit it into Joe.
Love, they had a lot of hate for him too.
That's it.
In another way, you know,
it turned
in a
so
weird
quickly.
Way. It turned very quickly.
He'd hit it wide and it'd be like, Joe, Jesus, he's off. He lets us down. He lets us down.
If Galway lost, that's Joe's fault. Joe should have done X, Y, Z. Joe can only do so much. So whereas, okay, there's very contrasting there from like the love on one side and the hate on the other. So when things were great, it was up there. When things weren't going great, it's Joe's fault. Let's kick him down another bit, you know. Yeah.
How have you found him, like his kind of reinvention as a centre forward? He obviously had, I would say, a pretty good season with lots of brilliant moments. He was very good, especially in the league final, second half of the semi-final, first half of yesterday. But he seems like he's just more of kind of a one of the forward line, if you know what I mean. Maybe he's still the leader, but he's not the only thing they have to go to anymore.
He's not to go to, you know. definitely not. We can see what they have. They've other go-to men, but I think, to be fair to Micheál Donoghue, he said, Joe, you're playing at 11. Go get yourself on the ball. Find yourself in pockets of space. Like Kilkenny used to do with Henry Shefflin years ago. When Shefflin was really good, he was a free spirit at centre forward. He could go where he wanted. Players always knew if there was green grass, Henry would be waiting inside in the green grass. And I think Galway are using Joe to similar effects. He's finding himself in a lot more ball. His scoring has come down, but his assists have gone way up. You look at his assists, and compared to his scoring averages over the last number of years, I guarantee you they're now starting to balance.
Yeah, without doubt. And also, I suppose, the fact that we're saying that they don't have to rely on them anymore. They don't even have to rely on the starting forwards. The bench had an unbelievable impact yesterday for Galway, and the lads on Sky Sports were just discussing that fact after the game. Yeah,
well, you mentioned the Burks and their crucial scores. Let's just take a look at those. And to have those kind of game changers, Jamesy, how important is it?
Yeah, and you know, Niall Burke would have been disappointed not to start, but I mean, you know, this was a great score to get, you know, from the sideline. His confidence is up. And, you know, he made a massive contribution. Again, Conor Whelan had a great tussle with Noel Connors, but showed his experience just to kick that ball out. And Burke, you know, took the easy option and put it over the bar at a time when Galway needed it. And as I said, those players coming off the bench at different things. David Burke, real captain's part today. And himself and Jamie Byrne, you know, were up and down the field after each other. And, you know, 4 points in the All-Ireland final, the biggest day of the year, when your form really, you know, hasn't been what it was maybe in previous years, I think says a lot about the character David Burke showed. And, you know, what a tussle we had from start to finish between himself, Johnny Cohen, Jamie Byrne and Kevin Moran, who ran themselves into the ground for the Waterford cause.
They are not easy chances to take. In Croke Park, you're into the last 5 or 10 minutes, you're absolutely exhausted after playing 60 minutes of hard, and it was a hard game out there, very physical. But just go back to Conor Whelan, it's the simple things. He kicked the ball out to Niall Burke, and that gave Niall a couple of seconds. He didn't try and lift it, he just got the ball to him, and that was a score, a crucial score for Galway at the time.
You know it's the Ireland final when the lads have the ties on.
Yeah,
going smart cash throughout the season.
It's going that step above. If you look at Galway, they're like their first 6 scores of the game were from 6 different players, all from play. They just spread it around so well. If you look at like Flynn and Niall Burke, as they mentioned, they're coming on and adding to it. I mean, Galway just had so many options, and David Burke's performance they put out there, he probably had a bit of a letdown in the semi-final, but he's been such a leader for that team over the last couple of years. It was great to see him having a great final.
Oh, absolutely. Like his semi-final was disappointing, and in his performance yesterday, you could see there was hurt in him. Like from the word go, like Jamie Byrne has been a dominant midfielder all year. Last year All-Star midfielder as well, and like they had a real ding-dong battle. They went at it from the word go, and you know, he put in not only did he put in a man of match performance, so the real captains and leaders performance, but like you look to the bench then, when Galway needed something, they had something to bring on. You know, they contributed 4 points to 2 boys towards the end of the game. To a lesser extent, you know, Tommy Ryan came on for Waterford, he got a point. Brian O'Halloran came on. I don't think he had the impact in the game that Derek would have liked. They had to introduce Morris early. Did Waterford play Morris right when they brought him on so early? I don't think they did. You know, so you know the impact of the bench was huge yesterday. It was huge.
It was a great year all round, though. I presume to be involved in Cork and have those special days back again.
It was a good year. If you told me at the start of the year we'd stay in Division 1 National Hurling League without having to enter a relegation, we'd win a Munster title and compete in an All-Ireland semi-final, to take your hand off it. And I think most people in Cork would. Yeah. But the further we go, the greedier we get. You know, the All-Ireland final was disappointing for us. We firmly believed going in there that we'd at least compete in an All-Ireland final. You know, winning would have been different. We firmly believed, so we got greedier as the year went on. But look, are we satisfied? You'd have to be. You know, you'd have to be satisfied from where we come from. We came from a very, very low starting point. I think we were 8th ranked in the country at the start of the year to reach an All-Ireland semi-final, so it's progress. That's all it is. It's nothing else. It's just a small bit of progress.
Must have been a nice feeling, though, as you said, from where you came from. I was at the Munster final, one of like about 12 Clare people that was at it. I've never seen such a sea of red. Yeah. It was an unbelievable occasion, wasn't it? And it was like there was something nice about having Cork back at that pitch, I suppose, again.
Yeah, I suppose Cork will always bring colour. They'll always bring charisma and atmosphere to the stadium.
There was a real excitement, though, wasn't there?
I'd be funny enough, where were they last year or the year before that, when things weren't going so well? You know, when Cork hurling was at a low, it's very easy to support a winning team. You know, and Cork supporters are fickle enough in that way. But look, when things start to turn, okay, they came out in their droves. We appreciate the support, but you know, the more support you can get into a team, you know, the stronger it gets. We all become one. The stronger, because they say, a rising tide lifts all boats. And, you know, if you put 50,000 Cork people into a stadium continuously, you know, it can only have a good effect for us.
Yeah.
Without doubt. That leads us on actually to our supporter of the week. Speaking of supporters, our GA fan
There's
of the
plenty
week
of Cork lads in this throughout the year, wasn't there?
There have been indeed. We've got our nominees
but not last
in.
year.
Our first one is our first one is this. Well, it's actually Steve McMenamin and Jason McIntyre. I think they were supporting Waterford yesterday. Well, McIntyre was definitely. We've got another Waterford fan
There's Jack
here.
Frost.
Yeah, Jack Frost or Stephen Hunt, as he's known these days.
Steve
Graham Garrity, another man who wouldn't shy away from a shoulder if he was coming on or if anyone come on to him. Well, here's our first official nominee. We've got this Joe Canning carve, which is these are unbelievable actually. I haven't properly examined this yet.
There's a serious amount of, can we go back to that for a sec? There's a serious amount of work got into that one that I just like. I don't know if you're pulled over by the guards how you can actually explain it and get away with it. I'm sure it's not legal. You need planning permission for that.
Like we used to have that thing of, you know, when you'd win underage competitions and you'd be up out through the sunroof with the cup, but they've taken that to a whole new level.
It's fairly impressive. Yeah, the next guy then is this Waterford fan has gone above and beyond.
That's impressive.
It's like, if that's a real beard, which we can only assume it is, he's really gone for it there. And a perfect, I have to say, I'm very impressed by the fact that it is perfect straight line down the middle of his beard. That'd be hard to do if you're doing the colouring there, I'd imagine.
That's unbelievable, yeah. No, all credit to him. But our final nominee, and surely has to be the winner, is this fan who has a Tony Keaney half and half jersey. I mean, that's a lovely touch. And after the game yesterday, the scenes were tremendous. The speech, the mention from David, and to see Joe standing beside Tony's family was a really special moment.
Yeah, I think it really meant a lot to go away, and like such a legend of the game in a county. You know how much that affects people, but like for it to come so close to, them finally winning the All Ireland, which they hadn't done since he was hurler of the year 29 years ago. It's kind of incredibly poignant, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I think, you know, it shows his standing in the game.
Yeah,
and you know, the steed he was held in, he was held in very, very high esteem. Not in his own county, but in every hurling county. And I don't think, you know, to be fair to the Galway team management yesterday, what a way to honour one of your heroes.
Yeah.
You know, to lift the McCarthy Cup with a very poignant tribute to him at half time, as you said in the captain's speech. You know, what a tribute. You know, the man couldn't ask for any more.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, without doubt. A special day for Galway all round. We will be back in 2 weeks' time for the All Ireland football final. We'll be right into Mayo, Dublin. If Mayo win that, I think we're going to have to build a wall around Connacht and just turn it into an official party province. But until then, mind yourself.